as well as literature in English. So I'll start with the first subject, general paper, which is a compulsory subject for all students. Now, I think for us to do well in subject, we need to know what it is. So let me explain what is GP. All right, so I will use this diagram to explain, but currently my computer is lagging, so please hold on. Okay, my slide is not working, so please excuse me while I stop share and reshare. All right, thank you for waiting. Okay, so what is GP? Now, GP is not A-level English, all right? So you took O-level English language. GP is not equal to A-level English language. It's more than that, okay? So if you can see on the screen right now, GP is actually a paper that tests language content as well as logic, all right? So what does that mean? Okay, it means, right, you need to have not just good language, you need to have content. What is the content that I'm referring to for GP? It is current affairs. So you have to be up to date on the news, all right? The logic that's involved in GP is argumentation, all right? So for the GP, for this subject, we only have argumentative essays. So as you can see on the screen right now, there are two papers, all right? So for these two papers, first is paper 1, essay, 50%. You are writing one argumentative essay, which will be on current affairs. So you need content, you need the language of argumentation, and you need the language to express your thoughts, yeah? Then you also have paper 2, which is somewhat similar to what you sit for at the O-level, which is the comprehension paper. Okay, you have your short answer questions, your summary questions, as well as a new question that you would not have done at O-level. So that's the application question. All right, so in summary, GP is a subject that tests language, content, and logic, as opposed to O-level English, which only tests you on your language. All right, so and then you have two papers for the subject. Okay, so this is GP. All right. So let's go on to literature in English. Yeah. So for literature in English, really what we are doing is to study, okay, the craft of writing by authors, all right? So as you can see on the slide now, okay, you are studying, okay, how the author's purpose or intention will be expressed in the text that you are reading through the themes and techniques used by the author, all right? So again, when you do literature in English, you'll be looking at authorial intention as expressed through the themes and the techniques used by the author in the text. Okay, for literature in English, there are two levels. You either take it as a H1 subject, where you take only one paper, all right? And then you study two texts. Okay, the two texts there are St. John by George Bernard Shaw, as well as Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Okay, so one is a play, the other is a novel. And you will study poetry for the unseen section. That's H1. H2, we will take two papers. You'll take paper 1, which is similar to the H1 paper, but the unseen is a double comparison unseen, all right? And you take, so the two texts there will be similar to H1. Okay, sorry, the same as H1. But for paper 3, okay, the second paper you take, if you are doing H2, would be 3 texts, yeah? You are going to be reading Hamlet by Shakespeare, all right? That's the play. The Caretaker, another play by Harold Pinter, okay, and a novel, Regeneration by Pat Barker. All right, so this is literature in English. You either offer it as H1 subject contrasting if you're a science student, or you take it as a H2 subject if you're an art student. All right, so I'm done explaining in brief the two subjects under my charge, which is GP and literature in English. I will now pass on the time to the next subject for you to understand better. All right, so over to you, HOD, PW.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Philip Sito. I'm the acting the HOD for PW at JPJC. Welcome to our open house. Let me just give you a brief introduction of what project work is all about. Now, in case you're wondering what's project work, which is something I'm sure you've heard from your siblings, your elder siblings, or your cousins, it is a compulsory subject at the JC1 level. Now, what's unique about project work is that contrary to what Ms. Sariza said earlier about content, logic, and language, PW has no content. All right, now, so what do you actually learn? Now for PW, right, it's basically a subject that gives you the platform to identify a real world problem or a need in the society and to come up with an insightful or an innovative solution to improve that situation for a particular group of people. And this problem could be based in Singapore or it could be based overseas. All right, depending on the research that you do and your own personal interest in the problem that you want to tackle. All right. The next thing, now aims of project work. So what do we hope to, what are the outcomes that we hope you'll gain as a result of doing project work, which is a compulsory subject? Obviously, if it's made compulsory, then surely the MOE has good reasons for making it so. Well, we would like to provide students with the opportunity to explore and synthesize knowledge. Now, what do you mean by that? Because it is also multidisciplinary in nature, meaning that you could apply your knowledge from geography, from econs, from math, from physics, chemistry, and apply it to conceptualizing the solution for the problem that you have identified. Now, what do you mean by that? For example, last year there were many projects based on the theme disruption, and as you know, last year was really disruptive because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So there were so many students choosing disruption on say earthquakes disruption due to, say, for example, that lack of water or electricity in various parts of the world. So this is where we will sort of like, identify a real problem overseas in the world, and then do research, either is from print resources or non-print sources, and we want to pull all the information together to study the problem and then come up with very innovative solution to address it. All right. And of course, like I said, project work basically trains you, right, in research skills, so that you'll be prepared to do research, which is basically the bread and butter when you go to university next time. Okay, so it's to enhance knowledge and the facilitation of to facilitate the acquisition of critical skills. Okay, and of course, it has a collaborative component, because you would need to do project work in a group, and that will help you to learn skills of communication, of planning, of actually understanding one another's strengths and weaknesses as you work together. All right, so all these are lifelong learning skills that you need to acquire in order for you to be successful in future. Okay, so again, these are the learning outcomes which you could quickly just run through. All right, so there are 5 different domains: knowledge application, communication, collaboration, and independent learning. Okay, so PW is not just purely group work, but it also has an individual component where you need to reflect on your own learning experiences at the end of the year in this document called Insights and Reflection, where you could actually think through and reflect on all that you have learned, both the skills and the knowledge that you have gained, and then think about how those skills and knowledge, right, could prepare you better, right, for future real life problem solving situations out there. All right, now by way of an illustration, maybe I just want to excuse me, Okay, so just to give an illustration how a real world problem is assessed, just to, a quick guess, what might be the connection of these pictures here, right? You have this PSI 401, you have a picture of a man, and you have a pot, a plant. So how do all these pictures come together? How is this PW? Now, first thing first, PW is about, like I said earlier, it's about solving real life problems. So the problem here, it could be haze. And we know that in June 2013, the PSI index actually went up as high as 401. So that is a problem. All right. And so what's the solution? You'll be surprised. It's actually plant. Right. Now, if you have done biology or you're a science student or you watch documentary, you realize that plants release negative ions. Okay. And so what do these negative ions do? They actually bind, cluster around the pollutants in the air and then clear the air of all the pollutants. So let me introduce you to the innovator. All right, it is Dr. Sri. All right, now one of the purposes of PW is to actually nurture someone like Dr. Sri, okay, who does research, who applies his knowledge, and then come up with interesting solution, right, to solve real life problem. So the question that I have for you is this: so what did he do to the plant to enhance its air purifying capability? All right. The effect here is clean air. And in fact, the pot that's holding in his hand, right, is actually available in the market out there. All right. So if you're intrigued, you may want to watch this documentary on MeWatch because it's from this program called Wizards of Tech. All right. So I hope I've given you a teaser on what PW is about and the kind of mindset and skills that we hope you'll be able to develop through as a result of PW. All right, with that, I thank you very much. And I shall now hand the time over to Mrs. Chong. Thank you very much.
Can you see? Okay, let me get it to slides view. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mrs. Chon Lim, HOD Mother Tongue. All right, so I'll be presenting to you the Mother Tongue subjects that is offered in JPJC. All right, the reason that why we are put together with the GP and PW is because we are also a compulsory subjects for A-level students. All right, as you can see from this slide here, the university admissions criteria. So Mother Tongue is one of them. So it's compulsory that you must have fulfilled one of the following before you are admitted to our local universities. So it could be a minimum D7 for your O-level higher Mother Tongue, all right, or a minimum S grade for A-level H1 Mother Tongue, right, or a pass in your A-level Mother Tongue B syllabus, or any other MOE approved Mother Tongue exemption cases. All right, so it is compulsory in the sense that you must take your Mother Tongue in A-level. Okay, so I will describe to you H1 Mother Tongue, which majority of you will be enrolled for. Okay, so we are looking at developing engaged learners of Mother Tongue, and then hopefully we will build on your knowledge and skills that you have acquired from your primary and secondary schools. And then we will find connections across the different content areas so that you can achieve a deeper understanding and able to analyze issues, and also create opportunities for you to learn and use the various language skills. All right, skills being reading, writing, speaking, and also listening in an integrated and meaningful way. All right, so in our H1 lessons, we aim to promote engaged learning. All right, so we have discussions, presentations, also bite-sized assessments that are interactive, and we can encourage confidence in you for self-expressions. All right, emphasis will also be put on the use of language in authentic situations. So there will be a lot of authentic materials that we use, okay, and also the topics very close to our real life. We will use the e-learning platforms such as IMTL portal, which you may be familiar in your secondary schools. Also the student learning space to enhance your oral reading, as well as to promote self-directedness and also collaborative capabilities. Okay, so for H1 mother tongue, you also expect to have quite a variety of enrichment programs. So in our schools, we have the special Xingyao appreciations, and then there will be other like mother tongue fortnight programs, publications or writing opportunities, as well as experiential learning programs that you can look forward to in the H1 mother tongue. All right, H1 mother tongue will be offered only in year 1. Okay, so only for the J1 students, you will take your mother tongue exams at the end of the year. Okay, and then the assessments is as such. You will have 2 papers, part 1 composition, part 2 language usage for paper 1. Okay, the weightage is 30 and 40. And for paper 2, you will be your oral examination. It's going to be a slightly different format from your O level. Okay, your tutor will tell you more. And there's also still the listening comprehensions. All right, so this wraps up my H1 mother tongue's curriculum. Next, for students who have got a very strong command of mother tongue languages, we encourage you to consider the H2 mother tongue language and literature. Okay, so the study of this mother tongue language and literature, MTLL, it entails the deepening of students' language proficiency, your literary skills, as well as cultural knowledge, okay, in the mother tongue language. So it offers students opportunity to read and appreciate like classical and modern literature. So you will study a variety of genres, for example, prose, poetry, drama, novels, etc. Okay, so besides that, there are also the language component that will expose you with authentic materials and also experiencing different learning opportunities for the H2 mother tongue language and literature subject. Okay. We'll be running a new syllabus. They are updating some of the text, literature text, so that it is closer to students' lives. So the assessment, it will be 3 papers. Paper 1 and 2 is the language components, compositions as well as comprehensions. To take note that comprehension is an e-paper, which means you do all your answering on the computer. Okay, and for paper 3 will be a literature paper. So we find it very meaningful for students to be engaged in literature learning because you do get to experience the different kind of texts, right? And then you will appreciate the different style of writing. You interpret the different themes and you connect yourself with the text and the word. And you even have the opportunity to create literary work. Okay, so if you are strong in the mother tongue languages, okay, especially CL, we also have other CL content subjects that you may consider. So here we have the H2 China Studies in Chinese, as well as the H2 translations. Okay, I will first introduce the H2 CSC. It aims to enable students to understand China's transformation and its future. So this is not about China history. All right, in fact, you'll be looking at the development as its impact and the rise of China and its implications, okay, to the country, to the world, and also the society and its transformations, as well as the governance and its challenges. All right. So in the H2 CSC lessons, you will get to examine the key issues in the contemporary China. And then you will develop understanding in 4 dimensions, especially the economy, the politics, society, as well as international relations. Okay, and then we will also developing skills in evaluating all these issues in multiple perspectives. Okay, that is in H2 CSC. In terms of assessments, there will be 3 papers. All right, paper 1 is a case study. This is relatively a shorter one. Paper 2 is an essay questions, long essay. And paper 3, this is done actually beyond your, it means it's not together with the A-level exams. It's done before the A-level exams. Okay, you'll complete it with the guidance from your tutors. This is called an independent study. So it's like a thesis, okay, a research essay when you will write an area relating to either economy, politics, society, or international relations on China's development. All right, so that's for H2 CSC. We also have this subject called H2 translation. Okay, so if you have got a strong command of English as well as Chinese, you are very much welcome to consider these H2 translation subjects. Okay, this is a Chinese medium humanities subject, content subject. It's designed to encourage students who have interest in both CL and EL. It aims to develop your capacity on interlingual and cross-cultural communications, all right, and as well as develop your critical thinking. Okay, so for H2 translations, they are prerequisites, and these are stated in the MOE prerequisites for the subject. You must be very good in both your languages, EL as well as CL. So distinctions, or at least a A2 for both these languages. Okay, and in the subject, you will get to learn, translate the different genres. Okay, for example, you will have report, speeches, even local literature works. All right, you will get to understand different translation theories, identify the translation errors, as well as to apply the translation strategies. Okay, so this will help you to really appreciate the language better. For assessment wise, you will be tested in both papers, paper 1 and 2. Another thing to take note, it is an e-exam format. So for this 2 papers or 3 hours each, you will all completely done on your computer laptop. All right, so paper 1 will be translating CL to EL, and paper 2 will be translating EL to CL. Okay. I would also, this is the end of the H2 translations subject that I want to introduce you to. I would like to address some of the FAQ that was raised during the earlier sessions. Okay, there were a number of questions on Mother Tongue B syllabus. All right, B syllabus, it is not H1, it's not H2. In fact, they don't count towards the calculations for university rank point, but it serves as a prerequisite. So it helps students who face exceptional difficulties in mother tongue. All right, so, but it is strictly for, okay, it's only eligible for students who have done O-level Mother Tongue B syllabus. All right, so you transit to A-level doing the Mother Tongue B syllabus as well. And students who have gotten a D7 grade for mother tongue at O-level. So when they come to JC, okay, they are eligible to do the B syllabus. Okay, so only these 2 groups of students. I also have questions on exemptions. Okay, there are students, maybe returning Singaporeans and other factors that they are exempted from mother tongue from secondary schools. So these exemptions will still be valid. Okay, is applicable for JC as well. And there will not be any additional subject requirement for you to take up. All right, so you'll be exempted. Lastly, is this group of students who are doing the mother tongue in lieu of CL, ML, and TL, or 3 official mother tongues that's offered here. Okay, so there are other students doing the MTL and as well as foreign language. You will continue to take these subjects, okay, with your previous arrangements in the secondary schools. Okay, JPJC do not offer this subject, but you will have to continue to take these subjects and also sit for the A-level examinations to qualify for the prerequisite for university admissions. Okay, if you have got questions on the Mother Tongue LL, the language literature, as well as CSC, there is no official prerequisites, okay, but it will be good, recommended that at least you are strong, okay, you are strong in the mother tongue language, for example, ML and TL, CL, all right, or at least have your higher mother tongue languages a B grade, B3 grade, okay. That is about all. The language elective programs, we have another session at 1 o'clock. JPJC is one JC that offers both the CL as well as ML language elective programs. All right, it's really to nurture very promising students who want to attain a high level in the language proficiency. Okay, so you may join our sessions later at 1 o'clock. Okay, just some clarify, if you need you have other queries, you can actually write to us, email, okay, or we can actually have some of them, we reply them with outreach committees and they can have it on the websites later on. Okay, that is all.